Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Christina Nelson Show, where we motivate, inspire, and heal. And as you can see, I am here with my amazing husband, Pastor Eric Nelson. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So tonight we are here and we're going to be talking to another couple. Yes, is another couple that were both also diagnosed with MS. So this show is about couples, married couples, diagnosed, both of them, with multiple sclerosis and thriving and having a good marriage, and how we met and some maybe of the struggles that we have encountered. But nevertheless, being married, why did we get married, like the movie, right? And all of that good stuff. We're just going to have a great conversation nevertheless. And so right now I'm going to bring up to the stage our guest couple, Mr. and Mrs. Don and Charlena Marie Wilson. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. We are excited to have you here. Why don't each of you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
I'm Charlena Marie Wilson, from Maryland. And this is my husband, Don Wilson.
That's me.
And where are you from?
I'm from Landover, Maryland. Peacock Drive, Pride. Yeah. Landover, Maryland.
Landover, Maryland. Okay. Welcome to the show, everyone. I wanted to, real quick before we start, read something that I saw from healthcentral.com. And I was just looking at marriage and multiple sclerosis. And so here's what I want to say right here real quick. It says, there's nothing quite so satisfying as a happy marriage, but MS and marriage can be a volatile combination. MS is by nature extremely unpredictable, not only when looking forward a future, but on a day-to-day basis. It places enormous strains on family life and completely obliterates any sense of normalcy. And then it goes down here and it says, while MS can be disruptive and emotionally draining for both of you, you can certainly grow closer to each other and learn how to support one another while living with this condition. And so I just wanted to put that out there because this is what everybody else looks at when they see multiple sclerosis in marriage. And why would you want to marry somebody with the same thing going on as you? I remember when we were just getting to know each other, Pastor Eric and I, the first thing that he said to me, not the first thing, but one of the things he said to me was, would you marry somebody or date somebody that had MS? And I had to think about it. It never like crossed my mind. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I would ever do that. And obviously I did. And this is the outcome. But so let's start off by telling us your MS journey, each of you. Tell us when you were diagnosed and how you found out you had MS. Know that whoever wants to go first.
Okay, repeat what you said because it went in and out again.
When your MS journey? When were you diagnosed? When were you diagnosed, and how did you know you had MS? Yeah, and how did you know? Is it still going on? When did you know and how did you know?
Okay. I was diagnosed in 2001. I was 17 years old. And what else? Yeah. It has been 21 years for me. 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you?
Let's see. I was driving 18 wheelers across country back in 2000 and for Oakley Transport, and I was in Atlanta. And I got in the truck and I looked down and my chin touched my chest and my whole left arm went to sleep. I knew it was a pinched nerve or something like that because it's one extreme movement, one extreme situation. So talked to a friend of mine who was an nerve. You might want to get see a doctor. Had to drive from Atlanta all the way to Laredo, Texas, and figured I need to get home to see my doctor because I didn't want to be stuck in Laredo. So got home, saw my Dr. Bone, Dr. Bone. He said, yeah, you got a pinched nerve. I want to see it. Go get an MRI. So I'm like, okay, go get an MRI. I'm in the tube for like 2 hours. You either have Richard Pryor. I'm like, man, he was pretty messed up. So I'm like, what's the cousin of MS? He said it's called transverse myelitis, which is the degeneration of your spine and paralyzed. I'm like, yeah, I take my chances with MS if I have the opportunity. So after a couple more MRIs on lumbar puncture, I got my diagnosis on 1st, 2014. So that's how we found out.
Wow. How'd you find out, Charlene?
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Charlene, how did you find out? Can you hear me? Charlene, how did you find out that you had MS?
Found out, so I graduated from high school.
Okay.
I think I was at a party, a birthday party, and my from my foot, it felt numb.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, maybe I'll just sleep it off. And next day, and I told my mom, and she immediately took me to Walter Reed Hospital. Living in, so my mother is a army veteran. So Walter Reed Hospital was the place to go. And so after they ran tests, they said, well, you have to get a spinal tap. spinal tap. And then they diagnosed it from there that I had a relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis.
Alrighty. Alrighty. So, Pastor Eric, what about you?
Well, I was diagnosed in 2014 as well. Like Don, I was in the gym and I was working out, and I was doing some push-ups, and my left hand had gave out, and I fell on my face, and so I had gotten up from there, and I was just looking around because nobody was in the gym with me, so I didn't know what was going on, so I didn't want to be caught trying to you know get on the bench press machine, and then it happened again, and so I left. A couple of weeks later, the same thing happened, and so I decided that maybe I should take a break from the gym. And then one day I was walking around downtown DC with one of my coworkers, and we were walking around. It was a nice day outside, and I started just feeling messy, and I just didn't feel myself. So I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what it was. So I just felt like a numb feeling just come over my whole entire body, and I went to George Washington Hospital and got tested and checked out. They sent me to a neurologist. I did the spinal tap and all that stuff, and the vote potential test, and all the tests came back, and the doctor called me and said that I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
And there you have it. And as far as me, it was 2001, like Charlena. It's weird. Like me and Charlena are the same. Like, as far as we got diagnosed many, many years ago. So 21 years ago, I was diagnosed. I was woke up one day, could not have feeling in my feet or my calves, my lower extremities. And I was like, this is not good at all. Something is really wrong, because it went on for days and days. And I thought it was something I can stand up and shake off, and it never shook. And so I went to my regular doctor. She said, this is not something that I can see going, I know blood test is detecting this. I don't know what's going on. Think you need to see a neurologist. I went to one neurologist, and they took some MRIs. They didn't see anything at first. They told me we're going to take more tests. I think you may have MS. So I said I wanted to have a second opinion. I went to another neurologist. They took more MRIs and a spinal tap. And there you go. They said, you were sorry, ma'am. You have multiple sclerosis. And I was just like, wow. Like the same, like Richard Pryor and Montel Williams. Those are the only people that I knew that had MS at the time. And it was two extremes. You had Richard Pryor, who was in a wheelchair, who was like, not doing that well. And then you had Montel Williams, who seemed to be good, And so there you go. That is all of our multiple sclerosis stories. So I want to get down to how we met, because this show is about marriage and MS. And so I'm going to talk to the Wilsons here. How did you guys meet? Because I know with Pastor and I always say it's my story, his story, and then what really happened. So how did you guys meet? Like, how did you guys get to know each other?
Okay, how did we meet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So I was, I leader in the support group, empowerment group. That's what we call it. Miss Jana. And that was back in 2018, I believe. He to the meeting, and I was leading the meeting, and then he decided to walk me to my car and put my stuff in, and all was well. next week, no, next month meeting, he was there again, and he decided to go to my car again, and then he my number to talk about multiple sclerosis. I said,
Oh.
sure. That was the pickup like that. That was so what is your take on it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Oh, okay. You got it right. She got it
That's
right.
pretty much it. Yeah, that's how we met. The support group and everything, the empowerment group. Miss Yana stands for "You Are Not Alone." So yeah, it was cool. Went out there, met, and she went with to one of my neurologist appointments one time. That's cool. That's cool. So that means she cares. It's like okay,
Okay.
I like that. Yeah. Okay. And just took off from there.
That's nice. So yeah, definitely. Well, so in knowing that you both were diagnosed with MS, did it ever cross your mind like I don't know about this, or were you pretty much kind of like smitten and then you didn't care if either one of you were diagnosed? You just were like, this is cool, this is fine.
I didn't have care at the time. I guess because I felt as though as if he has he he was diagnosed with the same thing I was, and we can we can better understand each other.
Gotcha. Same thing. How did you feel like that, Pastor Eric, that because we were both diagnosed that we both better off understanding each other?
Absolutely. I knew that it would have been, easy in the communication, being able to conversate and to be able to discuss what was going on and different symptoms, being able to pray for each other and things like that, trying to explain the symptoms sometimes to other people when they don't always necessarily understand, what you're trying to say or what you're saying to them. Sometimes it was easier to be able to share with you, just how things were going. When I say it's numb, my foot was numb. Say I turned my head too fast and the room was spinning and stuff like that. So it was easy to be able to conversate. But I never thought that I would ever be with anyone who was diagnosed with MS. That wasn't my mission or anything. It just happened. I believe that God, um, brought us both together for a purpose, and it just so happened, we found each other, and voila, we're together.
I appreciate you saying that because I appreciate the fact that he told me that when he first saw me in person, that because we met on Facebook, so we met, but because it was like a support type of thing with MS and everything, and we both kind of just vibed. We liked each other. He hit me up in my inbox, even though he says that's not the way it happened. That's the way it happened, and we started talking. I invited him on my show, which at time was a blog talk radio show. And we had a show, and I did kind of give a little slick line, like, something like, this is not the last time we have to talk. Like, you don't have to just talk to me because you were on my show. We can talk, anytime. And so we started talking on the phone, FaceTiming, and all that good stuff. And finally, we met at a gathering, at his second gathering. I went to Maryland, physically to Maryland, and then we met in person. And that weekend, we decided that we wanted to definitely be together and spend more time with each other. We decided that we were gonna stick it out and see what happened, and we did. And we finally decided that we wanted to get married, and he proposed to me um, February 14th, 2019. Yeah, 2019. He proposed to me, and then we got married January 11th, 2020. That was it. That's our story. It's a good story. I love that. Yeah, we really he said he never saw MS when he saw me for the first time. Even though I was walking with a cane, I was nervous and everything. And that he was going to look at me. Even though I knew he was diagnosed with MS, I still was nervous that I had MS. And he, like I was still kind of like, I don't know, how is he going to look at me? And he said that he never looked at me once like I had MS. Like he just saw Christina. That was it. And I appreciate that. How did you guys feel? Don, what did you see in Charlita that made you want to marry her eventually? At the end of the day, you guys want to get married. What made you want to say, I want to marry this woman?
Well, he was ready before I was. I guess because I was going through a divorce, and I really wanted to finish that before I even jump into something else. But it's funny that when we were dating, he says he asked the question, would you want to get married? I'm like, to who? but but later on, I mean, I laughed it off. I jokingly laughed it off, like, ready for this. So I think in what, 2000? Okay, hold on.
21 last year.
Okay. So so it was like in 2021. Everything was finalized, and I was pretty much ready to and he asked me again, and I said, okay. So we went to the justice of peace.
Oh, okay.
And we got it done, and then a couple of days later, we moved here.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool. Justice of peace. Y'all said, look, we don't got time to send out all these invitations and gather up everybody. Let's just do this, right?
Yeah.
Yep. She was playing Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm like, you ain't going that far without me. So yeah, we're gonna have to do something about that. So she changed and look, we came down and visited a friend of ours out here in Newport, good old Kathy Jones, and nice little neighborhood. And next thing you know, we moved into the same neighborhood. Everything worked out, and yeah, and ain't too far. She's somewhere down here in Newport News. We got to catch up. I know you're out there watching.
I like it. I love it. I love that. It was just like you just went on ahead and just did it. Like a lot of people, if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have just said, let's do something similar, because marriage was in the marriage planning was in itself pretty stressful and trying to figure out who was coming, blah, blah, blah. So, all of that business right there. So so this was a good question that a lot of people ask. How did your family feel about both of you getting married, did they have concerns? Because I know we had concerns, like our family members had some concerns about both of us being diagnosed with MS. Did your families have any concerns?
You,
Did you hear me?
you're
Oh.
asking how did we handle it?
Oh, well, how did they
Like,
feel?
is that what you asked?
Did they have concerns, and how did you handle it? Yeah.
Um,
Her mom said no at first. When she first met me, she said no. But she
Oh
came.
wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
My mom loved her from the beginning, so that's how my mom is. So yeah.
yeah. But I think my mother said no because you know, based on past,
Okay.
she didn't want me to get hurt again.
Gotcha. Right. Right. Because you had just gotten out of a marriage, so she was kind of like, okay, wait, let's think about this.
Yeah.
It wasn't, they never had a concern about you both having been diagnosed with MS. Like nobody said, how is this going to work?
It never had that question come up.
Okay. But that's
I ain't
good.
worried about it.
Yeah.
You wasn't worried about it?
Worry about what they think.
Oh. You strike me as the type that didn't worry about what they was thinking or anybody else was thinking.
Yeah. I think they were just, they viewed how things were, going about. If we didn't renege on anything, they like, okay, I think they're good.
Okay. I got it. We had some, would you say opposition or just like, just people just concerned?
I mean, I think it's natural for people to have concerns when you talking about a disease that can cause you to be disabled. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You have two, and then not only just that, but I moved away from the DMV area and moved all the way to New Jersey. So there were some concerns because new place, new marriage, everything is new, and then on top of that, MS diagnosis and them not being around to be able to help out or whatever. I need if we need anything. I think that's where the concern comes in at.
Mm-hmm.
On my end, on your end, it's a different story. Um, so, but then the other thing is too, when you have two people and they see each other for each other and not MS, and everybody else is looking at MS, then that can be another issue as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when I like we said, when I saw her, I didn't see MS. I wasn't marrying MS.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was only just gonna be, two people in a relationship, her and I, not me, her, and MS. So so I mean, people going to think whatever they want to think and believe whatever they want to believe and see whatever they want to see. And I think it's always good to be able to ask questions to see, if you need help or whatnot. But other than that, that's basically, what I saw as far as concerns.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I saw the same thing. It was just a concern about both of us being diagnosed and, how are we going to do what we're going to do if someone, gets hurt or it doesn't feel well? How are we both going to manage it? And so I'm glad that we both stuck to our guns. Like you said, like we didn't renege. We weren't like, letting people get in our ear or anything like that. We just were like, we love each other. We care about each other. We're going to do this. And we believe it's God ordained. And so we're going to do it. And Not to mention the fact that we full grown people, right? We it's not like we're not like teenagers or early 20s where you gotta like you kind of concerned about everybody. We like full 40-plus-year-old people.
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
And
So
I think the other thing too is like the scripture said, what God had joined together. And so if you believe that God joined you together, then there's nobody can break that up. You know what I'm saying? And so, we had a situation just recently that, since we're talking about how the concerns, everybody know I was in the hospital. So I'm sure that there's some concerns. But again, if there's no conversation going on and everybody's chirping behind the scenes, then it's still nothing being done. So you still have to be able to communicate regardless. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it.
that's good. That's good. We have two questions for you guys here. Yvonne says, so how long have you been married, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson?
June 4th, 2021.
When was that? Say it again. November 4th?
June 4th. 6
Oh, June. Oh, okay. All right. So a little over a year. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Another question we have, which one of the Wilsons are more into dressing alike? I asked because of the red hat that's matching.
That's her fault. She had the red. All right, I got a red hat. So yeah, she initiates sometimes. Sometimes I lay out an outfit and she coordinates. So it's vice versa. It works both ways.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Y'all like to dress. That's cool. Here we have someone said, "Thank you for this topic."
Ordered a shirt for had some shirts for when we got married and everything. She wanted something a little different, so I found something different. And I got friends, I got plenty of connections back home. So they said, I got you. And he gave me the shirts, and that was it. And I saw another one for our anniversary. I said, yeah, this looks like fun. We'll do this one. And yeah. So I found a little something every now and then for some fun.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. So either one of you at any time could like say, oh, this is nice. Oh, let's wear this. And sometimes he does it. Sometimes you do it. That's good.
The last name, I know it. It's not a name you hear a lot. I knew a guy named Dennis Devenish. She went to church with when I was at First Baptist Church at Highland Park. And he also went to Eastern Shore of me. So I'm wondering if you're related to Dennis somehow. Tell him I said what's up. Yeah.
Elizabeth Denovish, if you're related to who? Somebody. What's his name?
This Devenish.
All right. If you're related to him, let us know.
Dennis.
Dennis
Don said what's up.
Tell him Don
First
said
Baptist Church of Highland Park. Yeah, we was in Sunday school and all that together way back in the day.
Okay. Oh, she didn't. It wasn't a question. She was her cousin. So, hello, everyone. Lena, it's good to see you and your husband, and I'm happy to see that you are all doing well. I thank God for being able to witness your happiness because I know that He will bless me. From Stephanie Adams.
Thank you. Love you.
Aw. And we have Paula Williams. She said it's wonderful to be married to a praying spouse who can pray for you when you are sick. That is so important. Absolutely. It's so important. It's so important. Yeah. Yvonne says she loves that hat. Yvonne loves that hat. I like it too. It's pretty cool.
Yep, it's a black-owned company.
He's a hat guy.
Called Straw and Wool. Straw and Wool. They're two black guys out of Phoenix, Arizona. They got a lot of hats. These One Oak collection. It's not another one in the world. They got an artist who does the hats. I got like 7 of these joints in here. But
Seven.
yeah, at least 7. Yeah, at least 7 one oaks. So yeah, they got a lot of good stuff. Yeah, straw and wool, and all of them aren't like super expensive. These are running for like $195, I think now. So they went up on the price. It was $180. They're like $195.
That's not super.
Thing about the size, this is a large, and they have this band inside that can actually mold around your head. So that's really cool. So it just sits there and just floats on top of your head. Yeah.
That's cool. We
So,
see that you're a hat guy.
that guy.
I say, yeah, I can tell that you're a hat guy. Every time I've seen you, you got a hat
He
on.
tries it on me. So
Oh, does he?
I get the hat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Vanessa said it shows that y'all are a fun, loving couple. Awesome. When you dress alike and everything, a fun, loving couple. Let's see some other question. And guys, if you have any questions, like please put them in the chat, and we can ask the questions for either Pastor and I or for the Wilsons. Just ask us any questions, especially dealing with being married to not someone just who has MS, but anyone who maybe have a sickness. Paula Williams, I know her husband and her both had their time of being sick and taking care of one another. So how do you guys handle that caregiver mode? How do you handle being a caregiver to one another when one is not feeling well? How do you, who is the baby? Who is the one that runs to, like, you know, the nurturer? How do you guys handle that?
Who's the baby?
Yeah. Meaning who's the one that's like, oh, I'm so sick, I can't take it.
I don't ever feel like that, but I'll take responsibility for anybody feeling like that. Because I'm not blaming her for saying anything like that. If she ain't feeling it, I'm staying home.
Yeah.
Okay.
But most of the time it's me.
It's you most of the time. Oh my goodness.
I mean, even though at things, but sometimes I sit down.
Yeah. Sit down. I know he's always telling me to sit down too. Yes, indeed. Marla says straw and wool. Is that correct? Straw and wool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Straw and wool.
She said it's a blessing to see that God brought you four to create together to create one. Absolutely. I love it. I love that. I love that he brought, you know, there's more couples out there like us. Because it also shows people, it also shows those naysayers that it's not just us. We're not the only ones out there who, you know, both diagnosed with MS and living together and marrying and having a nice marriage and a good marriage. Like there's others out there, and they need to see that there are people out there that deal with the same thing and love each other, and regardless of what happens.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you both deal with limitations?
With what?
With the MS limitations. Like you can do certain things, you can't do this, you can't do that, like you used to. You know, how do you deal with the limitations?
Okay.
Did
you hear him?
You froze. It's like you remember the Transformers sound wave? It kind of sound like sound wave was a little bit, man.
Yeah, I said, how do you both deal with limitations?
Limitations. How do you deal? He said, how do you both deal with limitations? Like the limitations that you both have. How do you both deal with the limitations? Maybe he has a limit. Maybe there's something you can do that he can't do, and vice versa. How do you do with the limitations?
I can do everything. I can do everything. I still work. Go to work every day. Wake up like 4:50 every morning to get to work
No.
and be working at 6:30 every morning. Drive a truck. Drive a
Oh, you
water
still
truck now,
got
so
okay.
a dump truck, but yeah, I'm still fully able to do everything. If you need
Good.
something, I get it done.
There's days that he gets tired though.
Yeah, gotta lay it down.
Yes. He listens to his body.
Yeah, you don't listen to the body will knock you down. Say, hey,
It will.
yeah.
It won't shut you down. Yeah.
It will. It will. Charlene, how have you dealt with limitations?
Learn how to sit back and just
Let go.
let go.
Mm-hmm. You just kind of
Yeah.
flow with it,
Do-
or okay. What was that?
I said, and just do what I can do.
That's it. Yep. Do what you can do. Right. I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. What about I don't know, Don, I don't know. Do you have children? How many children do you have between the two of you, if you have children? Just her too?
He has not. He has none. I have two from my previous marriage.
So we got two.
Two.
Yeah.
That's it. Right? We have 5. So my 3 and his 2 make 5, and then we have 5 and almost one more grandson. So
What a blessing.
it is a blessing. It is. It really is a blessing that we have our kids, and they're not babies, so we're good. You know, we're good in that area. How did your kids feel about? Oh wait, here's okay, Charlena. Yeah, Charlena. My daughter asked, "Are you still mobile?"
I am mobile. I say that I can possibly walk maybe steps or so, and have this. You know, I use a my scooter. I have a Zinger chair to get around all as well. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I think Marla trying to plan something so all y'all could get together. That's what I think. I think Marla trying to plan something for y'all to get together. That's why she probably like, well, can she go? Because they go.
Oh yeah, I can go though. I can go.
That's what y'all want, Marla. You trying to get up and go?
A race. He was in a mobile school. Said, "You want to race?" He's like, "You don't want this."
He want to smoke. He ain't smoke.
Look, that's cool. That's cool. That's really cool. Anybody else have any questions? She be doing what? So what do you guys do for fun? What is your like date night? Do you have date nights or?
Well, date nights are usually we gone to see the movies.
Comedy show.
We went to a comedy show. Yes.
Shula King.
Shula King.
Have you seen Shula King? Anybody want to tell me why?
Oh God.
That guy.
Yeah, that
Big
and
ass. He's funny as all get up, man.
we go the nearest mall here. Patrick Henry Mall.
Okay.
And we watch movies. What Abbott Elementary is coming on
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Abbott Elementary Wednesdays.
I love Abbott. I love Abbott Elementary. I love that show. I think it is so funny.
Did you ever teach?
Yes.
I know I never taught. I was never a teacher. I just think that show is just really funny.
It that is extra funny because I did it for 7 years at Central High School. I was a long-term
Oh,
sub. I know what all that is, the ins and outs, dealing with money coming in and no money, or trying to get stuff done on a
mhm.
limited budget. Oh, that's to be able
That's
to
all.
relate to that show.
Yeah.
It's another story.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Wow. Yep. Yvonne says that you are a very funny guy. He is. He is. You have a good sense of humor. Does he make you laugh a lot, Charlena?
Yes. He does have a very a good sense of, and sometimes it's very
Too much.
trying.
Yeah.
But he keeps my spirits going, So
It's like
That's all. That's all.
was Robin Williams,
Uh-huh.
and you remember he used to always be on, no matter where it was, any point in time. One of the funniest guys I've ever seen, and
Hmm.
he committed suicide because he was dealing with some other thing that nobody knew about. But a lot of people who are depressed inside actually try to make others laugh to make them feel good as well. So
Hmm.
that's where I was for a long period of time. I think my life was in like some state of depression somehow. But yeah, so cope with laughter. Find humor in almost everything.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. We had a well, you see the comedian that was on the gathering Friday night. That's what he's saying. Like laughter is just good medicine. It's like
Yeah, he didn't
let's
like me much. He didn't like me at all.
because you
Oh,
had
you
that
remember?
thing.
He pointed me
He did.
out.
He did. He did. Let's change the subject.
That was hilarious.
Eric, do you have anything you want to ask?
Laser beak.
Huh?
I got a laser beam.
he just cracks himself up. Tell you.
We have a question from Vanessa. She says, for both wives, what is something you wish your husband would agree to try as a fun activity?
No,
I don't know.
I'll be right back.
fun activity. Let's see.
That you want him to try, something that you want Don to try.
I personally, when we first moved here,
Mhm.
I was to put together puzzles. So I was gonna put them together on my own, but he ended up joining me,
Okay.
putting it together.
Puzzles. That's nice. That's good. That's actually really good. I can't think of I can't think of a fun activity that I want to do with Pastor Eric, only because he's pretty a good sport. Like, we play games. If we're going to play a game, he wants to play a game. We watch a lot of movies together. We do a lot of that. We have our movie nights, and actually I can say this. I got him, he said it the other night, I got him to watch a lot of the Christmas movies. So when Christmas movies come on Lifetime or something, he actually started watching them with me. So that was my fun activity I wanted him to try, and he's done it. and he actually has embraced it. So he's embraced
Nice.
it. He'll watch a Christmas movie with me, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Very nice.
Mhm. Yep, that's good. That's good. Marla says, "Yeah, Don, you were not his favorite." No, sir. No, sir. Not at all. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is there something that you want to tell other couples who may watch this and say, I want to get with someone, we both have this, or even if it's just one person trying to help someone else, how would you encourage other couples is what I want to say. How would you encourage another couple?
Have patience.
Yeah.
Patience.
Have
Mhm.
patience. It's a must. And I've learned to just be silent, and it's pretty much weathering the storm.
Okay.
You know, things are going on around you that just be silent and just be still and know that God is one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Eric, how about you?
I definitely agree with the patience. I
Yeah.
think patience is, marrying someone with a disability. You definitely are going to need patience, because some things ain't going to work like it used to. Some things it's going to work slower. You may be at a different speed or different level from what that person is. And so you definitely going to be able to need patience, to be able to be together and to thrive together as a married couple. I think with us, being patient, knowing that you can't walk across the floor, fast, or you're trying to go and pick something up and it may take you 2 days versus how in the past, you know what I'm saying. And so you want to be able to need patience to be able to deal with them, to be married, to keep the peace, to and just and understanding,
Mm-hmm.
being able to understand what their symptoms are and what they're dealing with themselves. You're definitely going to need understanding and patience. I think those are the two keys. And then, of course, you're going to need, you can't do it without having the Lord in your life as well. And both of you, you both have to be able to have a good prayer life and being able to pray for each other, cover each other, and being on the same page, believing that that you both want to be well, one day, and not seeing each other. When I see you, I don't see you as this sick person that I married, or you know what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
you want to be able to see them the way that God sees them, and to have patience and to be able to understand, the person.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think the patience probably rounds it up. It's definitely needed in this walk for all people. Everyone needs to have patience, but especially marrying somebody with a disability who may be slower than you, or just a variety of things. Like he said, I may walk a little slower than when I first met him, and vice versa. But just having that patience, knowing that. That's what it is, and being able to deal with it. And I think it's different than being in another relationship. I've had relationships where guys weren't understanding at all. They didn't get it. They just didn't get it. They're just kind of like, I don't know if I can deal with this. I don't know how I could, and so having that time to reflect on the past and the difference between this relationship and other relationships, and the blessing that has come with being with somebody. Although we have both a disability, we still thrive together. And so I appreciate him for who he is, and vice versa. So amen. One more question I have for you, everyone, dealing with intimacy. How do you guys have those moments where you're just, how do you love on each other? I'm not trying to get into your personal business, but intimacy, and how important is intimacy to the both of you?
The hat just went to the
It's a little bit
there. I know that intimacy can be fine, but having patience, things will work out. And
that's true.
Yes. And I feel that intimacy can be, there's different levels of intimacy.
That's true.
There's intimacy. The finding out
I didn't hear that part. Say that again. You might have to say it again. Finding out. You said finding out. You broke up.
Okay. Finding out his love language was it's I'm still learning, but I believe that there's what am I thinking?
He knows when I like it, when I want it.
You asked him. You asked, and you got that answer.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that intimacy should be at the top. It should be at the top. And just like you said, there are different levels of intimacy, but so I think when you have two people that are dealing with an illness, it may either slow down, the bed life, if you know what I mean, or it may stop the flow of the bedroom, if you know what I mean. But then, so if you can't be there, I think you have to learn to be creative. You have to learn to be creative, and I think that so we already said patience, being patient, but okay, so we know to be patient, but also we have to understand and realize that we all have needs. You know what I'm saying? And so we all have needs. And the thing that we want to be able to do is to be able to please our mate. So if you know that there's an area where there's a struggle and you're not able to please your mate in that area, I think that we need to learn to be creative where we can be able to please our mate versus just, well, I can't do this and I'm not going to do it because I'm not here anymore. I can't do this no more. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think I think because when we get to the level where we just don't do nothing, I think we open the door. We leave the door open for the enemy to creep in, regardless if a person is disabled or not. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't want to, you don't want the enemy to creep in and bring division in your relationship. So just like you said, I think it's very important that we learn each other's love language so that we can be able to please them and to make them happy. Where they're love, you know what I'm saying? Like mine's is physical touch. Hers may not be physical touch. Yeah. Hers may be acts of service or something like that. So I have to try to give her what she needs, regardless of how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So, and just like and I'm not putting nobody on the spot, but there's some things that I'm used to that she's not used to doing or leading, and there's some things, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And so you want to be able to just try to, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of just be there for each other, because if you really believe that God really put you together, like you said, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it in the context. So.
Mm-hmm. We get it. We get what you're saying. Anybody else listening get what you say? I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, your love language is important, and I have to remember too that just because God will put, He may not put you with somebody who has the same exact love language as you, but it may be to bring you up. Like I may not be used to a lot of physical touch. I was never a touchy-feely person. I just wasn't, but He is. So how do you, now do it so that you have to step out of your comfort zone of being more touchy and feely, his mind being acts of service. I love acts of service, and so for me, that means getting a cup of coffee, like the other day we were rushing around trying to do stuff and I didn't have time to actually make breakfast. And so he's like, all right, what do you want from Dunkin' Donuts? And he gets me a coffee and we get something to eat real quick. And to me, that meant a lot because it took a load off. So I didn't have to go in and make something to eat. But then it was like, he did something that he knows that I liked, I'm not a gifts person. You don't have to buy me a bunch of gifts. You don't have to do all that for me. But if you get me a cup of something simple as, let me get her a cup of coffee, then that's fine with me. I'm good.
Yeah, same here. I mean, there's a lot of times that I don't cook, but he'll just bring something home. I'm like, how did you know? Yeah,
that right there. He'll order something to eat. Yep, stuff like that. That makes me like, that's my love language right there. Like you can give me flowers and candy and all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah, thank you, but ordering something to eat when I didn't feel like cooking.
Give me some food. I want some pizza.
Yeah.
Pasta primavera.
That's good. That's good for me right there. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being our guest today. We really appreciate it. We had a good time with you guys. You are a lovely couple. We pray blessings and longevity in your marriage. And we can't wait to see what happens with the Wilsons in the future. And it's going to be awesome. We thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
He tipped his hat. Awesome. Thank you, ma'am.
Make memories, not excuses.
Make memories, not excuses. Yes, sir.
Make memories, not.
Yep, that's good right there. Make memories, not excuses. If that is all, let me just few more things. Good word there. I think she was talking about when you were talking, Mr. And Marla says, from what I see, I'm the only single one on the call. You guys give those of us that single hope that God has someone for everyone. It's true.
You just can't be a Cowboys fan. That's
You just Cowboys fan.
Marla's a
Can't laugh
cow.
at the See, the thing about Cowboys fans and stuff, they don't expect no ring, you know, because they ain't had one since like 1995. So they just give them a little flash every now and then, you know, and then just fade off. Yeah, that's
Right.
Can't expect too much from a Cowboys fan. You know, it just disappear. You know, when the time comes, but it's playoffs. You know, just go home. You know, yeah. Yeah, talk about the Cowboys, Marla. We like the Cowboys. Sorry, Dallas.
That's funny. Y'all are funny. Everyone, have a good night.
You too.
Thank you so much. God bless you all. And
Right.
see you next
Be
time.
prosperous.
All right.
All right, bye-bye now.
All right.
Love you.